it's me, Geeky, aka Emma, and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a bit of a long time since I last put a video out. There's been a few things going on in my personal life. If you follow me over on Instagram, you would kind of know why. A couple of my family members weren't very well, but they are doing better now, so that's all good. But yeah, so I am back, and first of all I wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody that has recently joined the Geeky family. We have hit 1.2 thousand subbies. Like, oh my god, what the actual frig, guys. I am so actually like blown away by this, the fact that you guys are sticking around and watching my videos and enjoy my content, which I haven't been putting a lot out recently, so I do appreciate your guys' love and support and comments and likes and subscriptions and everything else. So thank you guys so much. Like, it actually means the world. I know I promised a live stream. Obviously, due to stuff that's been going on recently, I haven't had a chance to, but I really do want to do that, so I'm looking into it. I've got time off work sort of the second week of November, so I'm thinking of doing like a celebratory live stream kind of thing then at some point that week, so do keep your eyes peeled for that. And also, can we just, I don't know if you've noticed the change in the background, but we have fairy lights. Like, what the hell? I've wanted to do this for such a long time, and all the fairy lights that I had seen have been like Christmassy ones. They had like black cables or green cables, and obviously I've got relatively light shelves, so some are grey, and then I've got a new white shelf, so that would have like stuck out like a sore thumb. So I wanted to get some clear cables, and what with Christmas on its way soon, I now had the opportunity to find some with clear cables. So yeah, I'm so happy with this backdrop. It looks so cute, makes me feel so cozy, warm and like autumnal. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the backdrop. I also decided to take out some of my Funkos. So I've got like my One Piece ones and some of my Naruto ones. I think it kind of looks cute. What do you guys think? Are you like an inbox collector or an out of box collector? If you have Funkos, like, let me know. I just think it looks cute on the shelf, so that's why they're there. But yeah, anyway, so for today I wanted to do a haul video. This is going to be September and October. October's haul, I did say last month that I wasn't planning on getting a lot. I found quite a few deals sort of like on eBay, and I sold some bits in my collection, so I was able to like bolster out what I wasn't actually gonna be spending. So that's why this is a little bit of a bigger haul than what I was initially wanting it to be, but I've been able to almost complete a series, get closer to being up to date with a couple of them, pick up a few new ones, so yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag. But without further ado, let's get started. So the first series I picked up this month is actually a buddy read with Bizarre Individual. I buddy read volume 1 with him, and then I didn't get around to doing volume 2 because of like stuff happening, but that is BL Metamorphosis volume 1 and volume 2. This is such a wholesome, cute series. It's an ongoing series. It follows this old lady Ichinoi and a high school student Urura. They meet in a bookstore. She popped in off the off chance having a look at sort of like cookery books, and then she comes across the manga section, and it just so happens to be the BL manga section. She takes volume 1 home, reads it, really enjoys it, and comes back for the second volume. And Urura is the one that serves her. Does she know the genre? Like, I'm not quite sure, but it basically follows them and their love for BL manga. Is such a cute series. Ichinoi definitely reminds me of my late nan in a certain way, and how Urura and Ichinoi kind of interacts reminds me of me and my nan. So it's kind of like a little bit not emotional exactly for me to read, but it kind of like warms my heart a little bit because it reminds me of my relationship with her. So I would definitely recommend you guys pick this up. It's such a cute little wholesome story, and it is ongoing, but we're only at volume 2 so far. So the next one is Wake Up Sleeping Beauty, volume 2 and 3. Reese picked up volume 1 for me in the challenge, my previous video, and I really enjoyed volume 1, so I couldn't help but pick up volume 2 and 3. I believe it's only a 6-volume series complete. It's a romantic fantasy. I think there's a little bit of darkness in here, particularly in volume 2. We get introduced to our main female lead's dad, and he's a little bit creepy. He gives off sort of like a more stern, creepy vibe, particularly where some of the panels are concerned. He's pictured in a darker light, so I'm curious to see what sort of relationship he has with Shizu, which is our main female, so I can't wait to see where this goes. The next one is by an author that I'm kind of on the fence about, and I know this will probably rattle a few people's feathers, or ruffle, sorry, a few people's feathers, and that is a series by Naoki Urasawa. I've tried Monster, as you can see I've got volumes 1 through 4 of Monster on my shelf. I've tried Monster a few times, just haven't been able to get into it, just past the first omnibus. It's just not been my thing. However, I did read, now I'm going to butcher this title, so do excuse me, it's Mujirushi, The Sign of Dreams. This is a one-shot volume. I really have liked this, what I've read so far. I kind of made the mistake of reading halfway through and then stopping, which I feel like was an absolute idiotic mistake to make, because with Urasawa he has so many twists and turns in his series, or at least that's what I've heard, particularly with Monster. So me just putting it down halfway through was a real big mistake, but I've really enjoyed this series. This character here, or what I've read so far, sorry, this character here is a very intelligent young girl, and her father is an absolute idiot. But I would definitely recommend this if you are a fan of Naoki Urasawa. I personally would give this one a go, because I didn't get into Monster. I haven't been able to so far, but after reading this I'm gonna definitely try and push through and see if I can get Monster done, because it's something that I really want to read, because I hear so many good things about it. But yeah, that's the one shot. So the next series is by one of my favourite authors, and that is Rumiko Takahashi. I am 1 volume away from completing this series, and that is Inuyasha. This is something that I watched when I was a lot younger and really enjoyed the anime. Had to pick up the rest of the series because I'm currently watching Yashahime, and I think we're only on volume 3 if I could, episode 3 if I can remember. I'm really enjoying it so far. It just brings me back to when I was binge watching Inuyasha. I really enjoyed the series, so I just wanted to relive my childhood and read this. I say childhood, I was literally in my late teens, so about 10 years ago. But I'm really enjoying this. It's just sort of like your typical Rumiko Takahashi type series. It's got a lot of action, fantasy. It's sort of like, it's kind of an isekai, because Kagome gets transported down a well into the feudal era, where she meets a half demon named Inuyasha, and their goal is to try and find the shards of the Shikon jewel, and that is pretty much the story. But I absolutely adore this series. Kagome and Inuyasha's relationship is so funny. Their interactions are hilarious, especially where, I don't know if you can see the beads around Inuyasha's neck when she puts the seal on them. Obviously he's like a dog demon, so she shouts sit and then he just sits. It's just so funny. The panels are so funny. Rumiko Takahashi has done a great job. You can see definitely where the startings of these characters began when she wrote Yurusei Yatsura. It's the same with Rama Half. You can see where the initial ideas kind of started, and then she grew from some of those characters in there into Inuyasha and to Ranma Half. So moving on to the smaller volumes, they are all Viz Media titles. I think all but one are continuations to series that I've got. So first up is another Rumiko Takahashi series, and that is volume 35 and 36 of Ranma Half. I am slowly but surely collecting these when they go on sale, because they are like, or when I find a good deal on them, because there's 19 volumes, and I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 7 so far, so a little bit to go, but I can't wait to have this finished in my collection. It's a really funny rom-com series, so definitely check it out if you haven't already. It does have an anime as well. The next two series are a little bit smutty, and the first being Butterflies and Flowers. This is volume 1. I found this for an amazing steal on eBay. I couldn't help but purchase it. I've heard such good things about this josei series, and I think some of the volumes are starting to go out of print, because when I looked for the later volumes in this series, I couldn't find them, and then when I did, they were a little bit expensive. So if you haven't picked this up yet and you're wanting to, get on it, because I do believe they're starting to go out of print, which is a shame, because from what I've heard, it's a very smexy series, and you guys know what I feel about that. We'll just move on. So the next series is the last volume of a series, because one of you guys pointed out to me in my recent collection video, part 2, that I didn't actually have this series finished. I thought it finished at volume 17, but it didn't actually finish at volume 18, and that is Essential Phrase. This is another very, very, very smutty series. So if you're into that kind of thing, give it a go. If not, then stay away from it, because it is extremely smutty from what I can remember. Also, this is an older Shoujo Beat title, so bear in mind, most if not all of them are out of print, so stay away from that if that's not what you want to get into. But from what I remember, I did enjoy this series. So that is volume 18 of Essential Phrase, and it's now complete. So the next two volumes, complete my Aoharu Ride series by Ayo Sakisaka. You guys know how I feel about her. She is absolutely fantastic. I only got into her Aoharu Ride series this year, and I've fallen in love with her art style, with her story writing, how she writes her characters and their trauma, particularly in Aoharu Ride. I've picked up Love Me Not volumes 1 and 2, and I do really want to get on Strobe Edge, because that one's an older Shoujo Beat title as well. But this is such a great series. Ko has such a troubled and sad backstory from when Futaba meets him again, so it's just a great series. I've liked seeing their friendship and interrelationship grow. I haven't read the last 3 volumes, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it all pans out. But this has been such a great read, and I can't wait to finish this and get on to Love Me Not and Strobe Edge. So if you haven't read any of Ayo Sakisaka's stories, please pick this up. It's such a great series, especially if you just like high school romances. This is a great start for you, so definitely check it out. So the next one is by one of my favourite mangakas, and that is Were Tarsai. I totally forgot who it was there. By Were Tarsai. They are such a great mangaka, and their art is stunning. So yeah, this is The Legend of Arata, or Arata the Legend, volume 21, 22 and 23. This is their first take on a shonen title, I believe it was, because it was in Shonen Sunday, so it was a shonen. I haven't finished reading this. This is finished or complete at 24 volumes. I'm up to volume 15-ish, and it's honestly a really, really good read. Considering it's their first go at a shonen, if you like whimsical shoujo-esque type artwork, then I would definitely give this a go. If you're not a big battle shonen type person and you do like a shoujo more than a shonen, just give it a go. It's got romantic elements in it, it's got fantasy elements, it's a bit of an isekai, it's got a bit of everything, but it's not a solid shonen, if that makes sense. It's not one that you would likely see in Shonen Jump, so give it a go. It's so whimsical, so sweet, and I've loved the growth that I've seen so far for Arata in this series, and I've only read up to volume 14, 15-ish. So yeah, I can't wait to get on and see how this series ends. There's quite a lot to get through. There's a lot of plot at the beginning, so you've got to really pay attention as to what's going on, kind of thing, but it's definitely worth it. It's such a sweet series, and Were Tarsai is one of my favourite mangakas, so please check it out if you haven't already. Or at least some of Were Tarsai's work, particularly like Ceres. It's definitely not dark like Ceres, but yeah, definitely give these a go if you haven't already. Moving on, I have got the last books are 3 shoujo series that I am absolutely head over heels in love with. The first being Requiem of the Rose King. Now, I know I've shown volumes 4 and 5 in my previous video, however that was kind of like a challenge video and I just randomly brought those. I wasn't planning on buying these two, but I thought I'll stick it in here anyway. But that is volume 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 of Requiem of the Rose King. This is by far one of my favourite shoujo series that I have read. I believe it's demographically classed as a shoujo. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is such a dark fantasy. It's so great. I'm British, obviously, and this is based on War the Roses, which is based in Britain back in the medieval time, like back in the medieval days, and I just love seeing other countries and other people's takes on British history. So this for me is like one of like my favourite series. It's not as dark as a a karaoke, so if you're expecting it to be like a karaoke, it most certainly isn't, but there's enough blood and gore in this to entice you in if you are a fan of hers in particular. Also, if you're a fan of seinen or shonen type series, I would definitely give this a go. It's not heavy on romance at all, or at least from what I've read so far. I've read up to volume, I think it's 6. It's not heavy on the romance, it's not fluffy, it's not whimsical, it's not like your high school romance typical shoujo at all. It's dark, it's gritty, it's something you can really sink your teeth into if you are a shonen or a seinen reader. So I implore you guys to give this a go. Shay from Shay Geeks Out literally recommends this all the time. I took her recommendations when I read one of her videos, and I'm so glad I did. This is such a great series, so if you haven't checked it out, please do, and let me know if you do take any of my recommendations from this video in the comment section down below, because I'd love to know if you haven't heard of any of these series, if you gave it a go and what you thought. I'd really like to know what you guys think in the comment section down below, so please do that. But yeah, that is volumes 4 through 8 of Requiem of the Rose King. Did I say that already? I can't remember. Oh, and also, if you're a fan of this series, Ayakano has done one previous series that has been brought out in English that I know of, that I have in my collection, and that is Otomen. That one is totally different to Requiem of the Rose King. It's a light, fluffy shoujo high school romance, so it's worlds apart from this one, but you can definitely see where her art style has changed, and her art style has grown on has come on so much since Otamen. I am so impressed with how far her artwork has come along. It's so beautiful. I don't really want to open up and show you any panels just in case I spoil it, because we are quite far, and in fact I have just spoiled myself, so I'm going to close this book and put it on the shelf before I spoil anything else. So the next series is one that I'm sure most of you shoujo lovers out there have already got, or at least read part of or watched the anime for. And oh my god, talking about anime, I've literally just remembered Requiem of the Rose King is getting an anime. Oh my god, I am so bloody excited about that. When I saw it on Twitter, I was like, ah! Like, internal scream kind of became external. So yeah, but moving on, the next series that I picked up, I got 5 volumes for this series. I'm literally 12+ volumes behind in this, but I don't care. I love this series. I love going at my own pace with it as well. But that is Jonah of the Dawn. This is definitely another series that if you are a fan of shonen, you would like this. This is not romance based particularly, although there is romantic elements there. The artwork's gorgeous, isn't it? Right, just look at these covers. I'm being distracted. I'm supposed to be looking at them on like the actual camera, but I'm too busy looking at the actual covers on the screen. But yeah, this is definitely not a romantic heavy series to start off with. It might go into it a little bit further down, but it's got a lot of action in it. Our main female lead, Jonah, isn't a pushover. To start off with, she starts off as kind of like your stereotypical shoujo heroine. She's a little bit of a, like, not a crybaby, but she's doted on by her family members and the people in the palace that she lives at. And then circumstances happen in the palace and she has to leave, unfortunately, with her bodyguard Huck. So she goes on a journey to find the other 4 dragons, and she has a lot of character development, particularly even in the first 12 volumes. She goes from this seemingly weak character to quite a strong female protagonist. I absolutely adore strong female protagonists, so for me this series is just a gold stamp. Like, it's such a great series. Again, if you are a shonen, primarily shonen reader, do give this a go. This has action, politics, it has a lot in this, but it's such a great series. And also, if you like this series as well, you would definitely like Prince Freya, which is a newer series that's come out through Shoujo Beat recently by Viz. That one is kind of, I think it's kind of like a little bit of a mix between this one and Requiem of the Rose King. It's got a lot of violence like Requiem of the Rose King, but it's also a lot lighter like Jonah of the Dawn. It's like a happy medium for me, somewhere in between, but we're not talking about that, we're talking about this one. But yeah, this is such a great series, so if you haven't checked it out, do check it out already. And I've literally just gushed about that for like the last 5 minutes, so I think we should get on to the last series, right guys? So the last series is another one that Reese picked up. Reese done a great job in the last video, guys, honestly, and you guys' recommendations were top notch, so thank you so much. He's actually sitting in the room right now, so he kind of done the peace sign. But that series is the Demon Prince of Momochi House. Sorry, the glare from my ring light is quite bad. I'm trying to like not get it in the way, but it's kind of happening anyway. But yeah, I picked up volumes 2 through 9 of this. I am really enjoying this series. This kind of reminds me of Kami-sama Kiss. So if you have watched the anime, which is what I've done, I haven't collected or read any of the manga, but I really enjoyed the anime. It was really cute, but we'll talk about Demon Prince of Momochi House. But this is definitely, I don't want to say darker, but it kind of has darker undertones because of Aoi, which is our main lead, who ends up transforming into a Nue, which is a fox spirit, if I can remember correctly. I think that's what it is. But I absolutely adore yokai, Japanese folklore and all that sort of stuff. So this was right up my street when I started reading this after volume 1. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to get all of the bloody volumes now. And it's complete at 16 volumes, so I'm so happy that it's not an ongoing one right now, because I don't need another ongoing one in my collection. But this is such a great series, honestly. Just from the covers alone, right, aren't they just stunning? Seriously, they are gorgeous. The plot is really good. This is Himari Momochi, who is the landlady of the Momochi house. She ends up being left the Momochi house by her late parents, and she walks in and finds strange people in the house. Then she later finds out they're yokai, and Aoi is a Nue, or transforms into a Nue, should I say. It's so sweet. I cannot wait to see how this series ends. Unfortunately, I'm missing volume 10 because I just couldn't get hold of it when we went to the shops the other day, so I'm really annoyed that I couldn't find that volume 10. But I'm so excited to see where this series ends. I definitely recommend this to you if you have enjoyed Kami-sama Kiss. However, I do feel that this series, the artwork is like a little bit more sexy, if that makes sense. Like, Kami-sama Kiss had a very cutesy elementary school kind of vibe to it, because the way that characters felt quite young to me. However, in this one, like, the way that they're drawn, they're sort of like longer limbs, longer features, more sharper features, kind of has more of like a little bit of a smexy vibe. So I'm enjoying this. I love yokai. You guys know what I'm like with yokai, darker series, like all this sort of stuff. So yeah, obviously I was gonna like this one, right? So yeah, but that's it, guys. That is my haul. I know it was a long one. If you guys have stuck around for this 20 to 30 minute video, thank you guys so much. I always end up talking too much in this when I'm determined that I'm going to get it done within 15 minutes. It ends up being a half an hour long video, but there we go. What can we do? But yeah, thank you guys so much once again for commenting, liking and subscribing to my channel, and following me on Twitter and Instagram. It really means a lot to me, especially at the moment when I've been having a bit of a crappy time with things. So seeing your guys' comments and your support, especially for the last video, really like cheered me up. So thank you so much. Also, I just wanted to leave a question for you guys for today. What have you been reading recently? What have you been watching recently? Is there anything in the new anime season on Crunchyroll, anything like that that you have enjoyed or you would recommend? Please drop them down in the comments section down below, because I would love to hear what you guys are watching and reading. For me personally, I've been watching Yashahime and Jujutsu Kaisen. Also Snow White with the Red Hair, which is another one that I've now got to buy the rest of the volumes to, because I almost finished season 2 on the Funimation site. So yeah, I'm absolutely loving that series, considering when I first started watching it, when I first started reading it, sorry, I wasn't a massive fan, but then I was like, well, let's just give the anime a go, see what happens, and after a few episodes I was hooked. So yeah, that's another one that I'm gonna have to start getting. So I'm screwed, guys. This is a never-ending hole, this pit that I throw money at is this behind me. Honestly, I literally am such a boring person. I do nothing else but read and watch anime. Literally, I don't drink, I don't smoke or anything like that. So for me, this is literally what I spend all my money on. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, sorry, and I will see you in the next one, guys. Hopefully it won't be too long. I might do a wrap up because I feel like that is needed, because I've read quite a lot since my last one. But yeah, guys, see you next time. Bye.